slice in a cube. Come on, y'all, let's discuss, that's the frame. Dropping hitters to his putting lame to shame. Hilarious for real, got the nation on the buzz. Got them tuning in like they addicted to the love. She the queen of the trends, no fake, no frauds. Unpacking every topic, flipping all the odds. From city lights sparking to the Capitol walls. Tootie got the mic, they just stalling in the hall. She a vibe, make Chicago proud on the route. Windy City wit, knocking all the clout out. Raw but so rich, intellect on the brim. Swimming through the chaos, never decrease the dim. Come on, y'all, let's discuss, that's the frame. Breaking it down, keep it sharp like a blade. Hilarious for real, got the nation on the buzz. Tootie Talk Sense.
Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to Tootie Talk Sense. Now, today we is talking about Jackie Christie and her daughter. So come on, y'all, let's discuss. Oh, they told me to wait. Okay. Now I can't get the doggone thing back. Wait, y'all. I'm trying to wipe left. Dang it. Okay. So, oh, this then went full screen on me. So, y'all, have y'all seen the viral clip? I don't know who haven't. So, it was a viral clip on Basketball Wife with Jackie Christie. Y'all know who was married to Doug Christie, for an NBA player. So, she's on the show. She's been on the show for a long time. Her daughter, who is her second child, is Chantel. Chantel came on the show this season. She's been on there from my understanding. Y'all check me. I told y'all I'm not a basketball wife thing. I want to get y'all opinion, talk about the situation though. So I have heard that she has been on there a couple of times. And this time, from what I seen, her mom had called her into her room and they wanted to have a talk about some disagreement that they had. Let me see. I'm finna pull it up, and I know y'all not gonna be able to see the video on TikTok. Y'all could probably gonna hear it, but YouTube you'll be able to see the video on what I'm talking about. So I just want to go over this first. Then we're gonna get into this. Then we're gonna get into this. Oh, that ain't even the right doggone one. Which one is this? Yes, it is. Okay, let me share with the people on YouTube. Share my stream with the people on YouTube. I don't know. I can't share it on TikTok. But like I said, y'all can hear the audio. So around. Let's get into it and talk about it. So this is Chantel for the TikTok. This is Chantel coming to the door. And I'm hoping y'all can hear some of it.
Hi, Shannon.
What's going on?
After dinner, Ty came to me and she said that my mom wanted to see me. Me going up to this room, I want the opportunity to speak my piece and to tell her how I truly feel. It's almost like a toxic relationship with an ex. You keep trying to see the good in this person. I'm gonna start this again. I won't walk out. You tell me what's going on.
I think we're kind of past that point, don't you think?
I love you. I don't know what happened with us as far as Vegas, as far as it getting to this point. What I kick myself in the butt about is I should have said something prior to now. I should have forced the issue. At the end of the day, you got to remember, Banna, I don't have a problem with you.
I didn't do.
Now she looking at her mama like, when her mama talking to her, so I don't have a problem with you. I don't know what happened between us. She looking like she think her mama lying, right? That's how she looking at Jackie. Now, in her Carlos King interview, she said she's looking at her that way because Jackie had asked her on the show. But since she got on the show, she said that there's been conversations going on. Different people have came back and told her that Jackie is pretty much trying to set her up on the show. And as far as Chantel has, I want to say at least 2 kids. Her oldest kid is not by her husband, who she's with now, and her husband, Mr. Jeffrey, is a basketball player. So she's going through court with her oldest, I want to say, daughter, father, and she said she did not want that on the show. So they come and sat down. That's before this, and she said Jackie brings up that situation, and it's already known she don't want that on the show. She says also got back to her that somebody on the show had got some dirt on Chantel and saying that that she wanted to that Chantel was a lesbian. And the person was like, well, they're not going to say it. But the person said Jackie kept coming to them saying, you know, when you're going to talk about it or whatever. And they're not going to say it. So that's what she said. That's why she's looking like that. That's what she said in Carlos King interview.
Do nothing to you.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying.
I don't really
You
care.
feel you didn't do nothing to me.
I didn't.
And I feel I didn't do nothing to you.
Well, that's crazy.
My only point is this, Shani. We can argue all day long.
I'm not gonna argue with you. Those days
Okay,
are completely
well, guess
over.
what?
I left
I
you downstairs. I came back up here more so to tell you that going forward, we won't be going forward. We're done.
That's fine. The cameras don't mean nothing to me.
Okay, well,
More
they
than
clearly
anything,
do.
what I made,
I want y'all to
we
hear
can
that.
argue all day long.
I
I
cut it
just
out.
argue with you. Those days
Okay,
are completely
well, guess
over.
what?
I left
I
you downstairs. I came back up here more so to tell you that going forward, we won't be going forward. We're done.
That's fine. The cameras don't mean nothing to me.
Okay, well,
More
they
than
clearly
anything,
do.
what I made them understand is I wanted you to get an opportunity to sit down with your mother, because prior to the cameras, we didn't have this issue.
We didn't?
No.
So we've had a great relationship?
Shani, have we not?
Have we had a great relationship?
Okay, then you should probably be able to share with me why you feel that.
Mom, I'm asking you a rhetorical question. I feel like there's a huge difference.
She admitted she used rhetorical wrong because, if you ask somebody a rhetorical question, a rhetorical question is a question that doesn't need an answer. So she admitted she used that word wrong. Now, from my understanding, the oldest daughter, y'all dropping these comments and correct me when I'm wrong. I don't care about being wrong. Correct me. The oldest daughter says that she was the golden child. So this daughter seems to have a problem that she left, that Jackie had the grandma raise them while she followed Doug around the NBA and was at every game. But the oldest daughter have claimed that she was the golden child because she's light skinned, and the older daughter is darker, and because she was thinner and the older daughter was thicker. So when Jackie said we haven't had no problems, and my internet on TikTok is going in and out, so I apologize about that. When she said we haven't had no problems, that's what she's referring to. And the daughter's like, we haven't. So let's continue.
It's between Jackie, the mother, and Jackie, the personality. And I think that version of Jackie is who came and sat down in front of me right now. I don't want to be a part of the lie.
All is I
You're
know.
so sad.
All is I know.
This is sad.
It isn't.
It is
All
very
as I know
sad,
is I
Mom.
agreed
You
to
need
sit
help.
down again with you to have this conversation for you. It ain't for me. I wanted to give you an opportunity to clean your name up. If this how
I
you
need
want
to clear my name.
Chantel, listen. If this how you
I need to
if
clear
this
my
is
name
how,
up.
girl, stop.
Do you hear yourself?
Stop.
I need to clear my
I'ma
name
say
up.
this.
Please say it.
I
and
love
record
you.
it while you
I
at
ain't
it.
recording
So
nothing.
you can
I
run
look
it back
to
to
see.
Dad
I
and
love-
Douglas and
Stop.
continue to lie to them and tell them that what
my
happened didn't happen.
Shani.
So that when they see this,
Now, that recording, I just watched the video, and I want to give y'all the YouTube channel. This lady got the book, got the oldest daughter. If I'm pronouncing her name wrong, my apologies. Takari got her book. And the thought is that the reason why Chantel said, "Oh, you recording me," is because when Jackie and the oldest daughter fell out, Chantel will record conversations of Jackie talking about the oldest daughter and will send it to the oldest daughter. Now we're gonna talk about mother-daughter relationship, but we also gonna talk about this book. I got me some tea. I don't know how long we're gonna be here today, but I'm hoping to get through it all, and I'm hoping I'm not gonna forget to go back and bring y'all that video. But Yeah, that's what the thought pattern is. Because baby, if that book that oldest wrote about Chantel, mm, she's something else. She's something else. But that's why she's saying, "Oh, you recorded me," because she had did that to Jackie before.
This, they see you for the vile individual that you are.
Stop?
No, I'm not going to stop, and I'm not going to let up. And I'm
Well,
going to
guess
speak
what
the
I
truth
want
to
you to do. I
every
want
single
you to
time. I
get
have
up.
zero respect
I want
for
you to get up and leave my
Zero
room.
respect for
Get
you.
up and leave my room.
Zero
Okay,
respect for
bye-bye.
you. Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
You look very
Thank you
cute.
for wasting my time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, girl.
Bye-bye.
Have a great night.
Now, at this point, I would also told her ass to get up and leave my room. She didn't tell her mama that now y'all have y'all opinion about Jackie. I'm basing on mother and daughter relationship and just this clip, not the history of basketball wives. Just this clip, Jackie invited you in. She said she wanted to talk about the situation. You're not talking about the situation. You said, I don't have anything to say, blah, blah. Now, at this point, you didn't tell her I have zeros of respect for you. So what we sitting here holding the conversation for? Because, bitch off the street, we, probably would have had more to say to that. But that's your daughter. So you're just going to tell her, all right, go ahead and go then. Go on now. Go on. You know when your mama got the go on now, you knew what that meant. And that's pretty much what Jackie saying. Go on now. All right. We on TV. All right. You don't embarrass me in public because you act up in public. I'm going to act up in public. But that's what my mom used to say. I don't know. Did y'all mom used to say that? My mom would, I'm going to act up wherever you act up at. So, all right. You don't respect me? Go on. Go on now. Get.
Hey,
Bye
girl.
bye.
You
I
have
will.
a good night, girl.
Good night, sweetie. Good night.
Be well.
Good night. I
Seek
will.
help.
That's a much better exit.
You right.
Good night.
You right. And
I
you
love
think
you.
you look better?
Bye-bye.
Do you think you look better? Do you think that you
Shake.
So yeah, at this point, she at the door. You could have just left out because ain't nothing getting resolved right here at this point. You upset. You told her you don't respect her. She said, "All right, go on now," and you done walked all the way to the door and walking back because she said good night. It's like now this me who don't watch basketball. Why? It's like, are you upset that she didn't react? Because it seems like you was trying to get that reaction that she popped your ass in the mouth because you had left. You was like, she literally opened the door. Like, I would have been happy to get out to get that close to the door. And I said what she said, so my doggone bubble. I would have been happy to get that, baby. I would have ran for that door so doggone quick. Security, like. But she walked back, and I was like, "Oh, and then she, come on."
It's the situation because you're sitting here looking stupid.
I don't.
Look how you look as a mother, Jackie.
If you don't
Look how
get
you look as a mother.
Now, Jackie couldn't have whooped her ass as a kid because anybody know once your mama get up, she don't get up for no reason, baby. You done made her get up out her seat where she done sat comfortably at. What? Run. Like that's like me watching a movie and the white women fall. Run. What are you doing, Chantel? What? Girl.
Don't touch me.
let me go.
Now, at that point, Jackie,
Let me go.
oh, get
Let
up.
me
It's
go.
gonna be time, knock you out.
Let
She
me go.
pushed
No,
them
you
out.
guys
Let's go
don't.
back. She
Wait,
pushed them out.
you're sitting here looking stupid.
I don't.
Look how you look as a mother, Jackie.
If you don't
Look how
get
you look as a mother.
out of my room.
Don't touch
Pushed
me.
her right there.
I'll knock you out. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Bitch, let me go. No, you guys
You put your hands on me.
let me go.
End of it. That's the end of it. That's the end of it. You put your hands on
I'm
me.
going in my room.
Call Dad. Get him on the line, Jackie.
Now that would have pissed me off more because call who? So you think, but I don't know their family. You saying call Dad as if my husband finna come in here and go against me for for popping you in the mouth after you done pushed me. Like call Dad. I'm gonna tear this place up. You and your daddy finna get it. Like what type of? I don't know the family dynamics, but we're gonna go back to that sister book because the sister wrote this book about 10 years ago. She say in the book that Chantel has the daddy wrapped around her finger. And I'm just hearing that today. And I'm like, okay, because when she said call dad, I'm like, wait, Jackie Christie is the one who followed her husband around. They get married every year. I would assume that their relationship is a fairly good relationship. Of course, marriages have problems, blah, blah, blah. But how you gonna say call my husband on me when my husband is supposed to have my back about what's going on? But hey, yeah. Let's continue. Let's continue. I
Call
think it was
dad. You goofy as.
Jackie, tell us what is your side of what happened and went down in your hotel room?
I'm not talking about Chantel. Not in the least bit. So any questions regarding her is a no.
Please get me up out of here. That's a good idea.
She came in here and tried to say we were done and jumped in my face, pushed me, said you don't love me, it's a lie, all this kind of crazy stuff. She's out of control.
Oh,
okay,
you want to put
she's
your
talking to
hands
Doug
on
right
me?
now. Okay.
Y'all, let's just get into this mess because this.
So, yo, I'm at the point that I was like, I would have been thanking my lucky stars and God and everything else that I walked up out of there with the mama I had. Okay. Now, for y'all who's just not joining, who don't know, I am one of 7 girls. My mom had all girls. I end up having all girls. I have 4 girls. The mother-daughter relationship is very, very complicated to me. And to me, I know her oldest, Jackie oldest, her and her oldest had problems at one time, and now she had a problem with this one. I don't know about mothers and son relationship, and her son haven't said anything. But depending on the age that your parents have you, they may have a different relationship with you than they have with your siblings. Because I am number 5. So when I talk to my sisters and about like things or how I felt growing up, they're like, "Oh, mom wasn't like that. Mom wasn't like that to you." But my life and my experience is completely different. And I can say for me, my personal life with my kids, I had my oldest when I was 20. That was a different mom than my 2 youngest that I have because you know patience was shorter, money was tighter. You more irritated, you're more stressed with what's because you with my not everybody else like my life wasn't in order at 20. I'm stressed. I end up being a single mom. I'm out here trying to make ends meet, and you're doing it for the first time. Me personally, both my parents had passed by the time I had my first kid. So, are you out here trying to figure it out here on your own? You don't have your mom to call to ask for motherly advice from. A lot of people do, but this is just like my personal situation. And so it was like I was learning to be a mom with my first kid. So she experienced, you know, the quick temper. She experienced a lot more than what my youngest one was because I'm older, more patient, I'm more settled, I'm more able to do to well, no, they all got the same amount of as far as extracurricular. They all got modeling, cheerleader, karate, gymnastics, tumbling, anything you name, they did. Still doing. That's why I'm tired. That's why I ain't always on here like that. Okay. So I got a break this week that this my middle baby ain't and get all her activities. We got a week off. So y'all get more of me this week. Hey. Now let's talk about this Carlos King interview that Chantel did. So I went and wrote notes on this because I wanted to remember. I want to make sure I remember it all. So I'm gonna read some of that. I'm also checking in the comments, so y'all can drop down in comments. Let me know how y'all feel about the situation, or I think YouTube. I can send the link. This one, TikTok. I think if y'all request it, then I can add y'all on here. But YouTube, you drop down if you want to get a link. Drop in the comments. Let me know. I'll bring y'all on, and y'all we could have this whole conversation. because I know some people don't agree with me, because I feel like Chantel was wrong. Chantel was dead wrong. The way she came in there talking to her mom, the way she pushed her mom, and I think she should thank her lucky stars that all she did was got popped in the mouth, because that would have been the least of it. Because not even just take the mom daughter situation out of it. If you out and somebody push you, you gonna hit them. You gonna defend yourself. So, like, oh well, if that's her child, she shouldn't have popped her child. Well, her child shouldn't have pushed her. Now I don't know the other backgrounds with everybody's, like how toxic Jackie is, or as far as talking about with everybody, with the other ladies on the show, I'm assuming. But this is not about the other ladies on the show. This is about her and her daughter. So let me go through and see what let's go through and talk about this Carlos King interview. Let me know too. How y'all feel? Do y'all think Jackie was wrong? Do y'all think Chantel was wrong? I should have put a poll up to ask, to take a poll to see who how it goes. But y'all, okay, so, and I wanted to see too, is there a difference? Because I noticed that some people who don't have kids view it differently. And it also depends on people's relationship with their mother. Because my relationship with my mom, it was a bunch of us, but she was a good mom. Loved her to death. But we had hard times in my teenage years. But she passed when I was like 19. So it was like I had went away to college, and that year we had actually started on a relationship that I always wanted us to have. But then a year later she passed. But I assume that, you know, if that would have been allowed to continue, we would have got closer, and problems and everything would have, questions that I had would have got addressed, and we could have talked and worked it out. But once I had daughters, I understood better some of my mom behavior, because we, as the child, especially if I'm assuming for the ones who don't have kids, all you know is your relationship with your mom. But then once you become a mom, you could understand, because we don't see our parents as people. We see them as mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you should be better as a mom. You should, but and at the end of the day, they're people. They're human beings, and they're making mistakes. Now, I'm not saying that for all parents, all moms, all that. Some of them is toxic, and you need to keep them out your fucking life. If that's the situation, then you do what you need to do to set your life up for you. But some of them are just learning and growing and trying to figure it out as they go along, and that's not, it's not behavior that's they're doing purposely to hurt their child. Now I know it's parents out there who do. I ain't talking about them trifling ass people. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about us normal good parents out here who's trying to figure it out and doing the best that we can. Now, let's talk about this Carlos King interview. Okay, let's talk about the Carlos King interview. So Chantel said she was raised by her grandma, and her grandma passed away when she was 18 years old. Now, if I double speak, if I repeat myself, I'm gonna apologize, because I'm also trying to tie in what the book says. I don't know what age Chantel went with her grandma, because her older sister said that Jackie kept Chantel and she was raised by the grandma. So I don't know. All Chantel said was that she was raised by her grandma until she was 18. The older sister in her book, and it's not that, and her sister exchanged words on social media. So it's not that, it's just because her and her sister into it. This was a book from, I want to say, almost 10 years ago. In that book, she said Jackie, and that's just the little excerpts that I seen this other girl read. She read the book on her YouTube. But she said that Jackie kept Chantel, and she, the oldest, was raised by the grandma. But Chantel said in her Carlos King interview, she was raised by her grandma until she was 18, and at 18, the grandma passed away. So she said Jackie traveled with Doug while the grandma stayed and raised the kids. How do y'all feel about that? Because I don't know to what degree, because I believe that because Jackie is known as being, the wife who was at every game. Now, basketball season, I want to say is it's a month long, and I know it's during school time. So I'm like, I know you couldn't take your kids with you to every game, especially they're traveling to different states if your kids are in school. But at the same time, since Doug is a grown ass man, that's not a decision I would have made. I don't know the reason Jackie made that decision, but that's not a decision I would have made to leave my kids. But not that she left them home alone. They was home with her mom, and her mom raised them. But to leave my kids in order to go to be on the road with Doug. And I wonder, was it? I know the NBA lifestyle and the women out there, things of that nature. Was it that you didn't trust Doug, or I know you don't trust the women? That ain't even they're gonna do what they need to do to get what they can get to be at a place they want to be at, which is your spot. Now, I know that ain't the thing, but I don't know if that's a decision that I would have made to not be there with my kids to help with homework, to because I would assume that my kids would need me more than this grown man would need me. So, and at some point, if your husband is the leader and the head of the house, then you're gonna have to let him lead and have some type of trust in him that he's gonna be all right out there on his own and do what's right and not be all in these hoes' faces. Now, it's a hard life. I understand that it's tempting, but I would assume, but and maybe she didn't have that concern because they was with her mom. But I would assume that my kids would need me more than he would. Now, also if they're doing it the Christian way, y'all Christians let me know out there, because in the Bible it says it's God, spouse, kids. So maybe that was the reasoning behind it, because she was like, well, in the Bible it's God, spouse, kids, so I need to get to my spouse, and I get to them kids later. Give me a minute. First I said I was cold. I don't want my nose running. Okay. This doggone weather is fucking me up. But anyway, that's the decision Jackie made. I don't know. How do y'all feel about that? Is that a decision y'all would have made, or how do y'all feel? Because it seems like underlying an issue with, well, I want to say with the oldest, because this Carlos King interview with Chantel, I don't know if I'm a can of paint. Watching this interview, I got so confused. I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? I had to actually start the interview over and rewatch it because I had stuff going on. My daughter had got killed by a dog. It was a lot. So I was like, you know what? Let me rewatch, because if you watch the first time watching, I'm like, doesn't seem like she answering the questions. It seems like she's like playing ring around a rosy and shit. So I rewatched it, y'all, but I couldn't get to her problem with her mom, and I felt like there was a competition that she had with her mom. So let's continue. Yeah, I'm trying to read and see what y'all say and how y'all feel about it. But she said that she feels like Jackie made the choice to go be with her men instead of raising her children. She says three of them, Takari, her, and a brother. And Takari, who's the oldest, she has a different dad. Carlos asks her that she gives smoke to Jack. She asks her why she gives smoke to Jackie and none to Doug. Because during this interview, she always talking about, her problem with Jackie. Jackie wasn't home with us. Jackie wasn't, and she's just like, okay, well, I understand that Doug was out. He's playing basketball. He's making the money to provide for the family. But when he wasn't there, you don't talk about him being there either. So why is there problems with Jackie, but not with your dad? She says that her experience with Doug and she says that her experience and Doug has experienced Jackie as a wife, while the kids experience Jackie as a mother. And I'm like, that ain't answering the question. I I don't know how that was the answer to the question, but to me, that was not the answer to the question. So he didn't ask why Doug didn't have smoke for Jackie, which it seems like that is the question she answered instead of why you don't have smoke for your dad. Because the way she answered that question, she was like, well, he said, why you don't have smoke for your dad, only for Jackie? She said, well, my dad only know Jackie as a wife and he don't know Jackie as a mom. I'm like, that ain't the answer to the question. It seems like she heard him say why Doug don't have smoke for Jackie, but that ain't what he said, because it seems like that's the question she answered to me. I'm like, oh, see, that's why I was watching this interview, like, what the fuck going on here? Because I'm a little confused. But then she gives examples on how she seen Jackie be like, Doug on the way home, let me make sure everything is perfect. And I'm like, okay, she made that maybe she's mad that Jackie prioritized her husband over her kids. And since she has a great relationship with her dad, she can't say that she wanted her mom to choose her over her dad. That's my opinion when she said that. Seems like since she has such a great relationship, because let's say Doug wasn't her father, I think she would have automatically came in where she chose a man over us. But since she have a great relationship with her dad, she's not saying, oh, she chose him over us because it's her dad. So she's just like, oh, well, she just did, made stuff perfect for my dad. And so I seen her do stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, but finish the sentence. So the rest of the sentence is, I got a problem that she made stuff perfect for my dad and she didn't do it for her kids. Seems like that's the complete thought, but that's not what she said. So she still haven't answered the question. She continued on with saying, when people say why he don't get any of the blame, she said, do y'all think he seen her verbally abuse me and then say nothing? No, she did it when he wasn't there. I'm like, okay, at this point, she's not getting the question. Maybe because your problem with your mom is that she didn't raise you. Your grandma did. So that also means your dad didn't raise you. So why don't you have a problem with your dad like you have with your mom about being raised by your grandma? Then she said the viewers are being willfully ignorant. And she finally said she didn't have the same negative experience with her dad that she had with her mom. So she eventually ended up saying that the problem is that she have a negative experience with her mom and not with her dad. She don't explain. Instead, she don't explain what the negative experience are. Instead, she goes back into her mom and dad relationship. And she says her dad will love her mom regardless of what she does. So I'm like, that seems like that's also a problem that you upset with your dad, that your dad doesn't have a problem with Jackie. And you upset with Jackie that Jackie chose your dad over y'all. There's more talking, and she eventually get to the tough times that she had with her dad. He always apologized and take accountability. She said the tough times she had with her dad, he always apologized and take accountability. I'm like, well, is Doug not making you take accountability? And maybe that's why you got a better relationship with Doug than you do with your mom, because that's what it sounds like. She respected her dad, and Jackie didn't raise her on respect, but raised her on fear. And now that she's older, she's no longer fear Jackie, and that is what viewers are seeing. So Carlos said Jackie was verbally abusive. What did that look like as a child? She didn't give any specifics of that either. She kind of talked about it in a roundabout way. She said expressing the things that Jackie said to a lot of people will come off as a typical Black household because your mom put fear in your heart and she talked down to you. But she was a different child, and she believes that you should that you should meet kids where they are and handle each child differently. Now, to be honest, that's more of a new school type of thing. Like meet kids where they are. I do. Each one of my kids are different. The oldest is completely different than than them rambunctious than them younger two. the younger two, I call one of them 2.0 because the baby is just the middle kid, just a 2.0 version. Now, I couldn't raise my oldest. I couldn't raise the middle ones like I did my oldest. My oldest, she's a soft spoken, gentle person. She got a horrible attitude, but she's a soft spoken, gentle. All my kids dramatic. Where they get it from, I don't know. But all of them very dramatic. But my the middle ones, I can't raise like I did the oldest because the oldest, all I had to do was like raise my voice. She cried and she behaved. Them two youngest ones, baby, they talking about gentle parents. Gentle parent ain't for these thugs, little kids. Ain't for these little baby kids. Older two, the gentle parenting does not work for these for these younger two. I keep saying the older two. For these younger two, gentle parenting don't work for them. Mm-mm. I think I know they were born here in the Shy, but I think they were born in Missouri because they be like, show me, baby. You thought it was. What? All right. So Jackie called her names and she said Jackie called her names and called her a bitch plenty of times. And at 12, she told her in her face that she hates her. Carlos asked why, and she said because she was in a heated argument. Now, I don't know how old the girl is now. I think maybe 30s. But at 12, she said Jackie told her that she hate her. Nah, I ain't finna give Jackie no type of excuses. But if you act like what we just watched, now you shouldn't tell her that you hate her. And I would say I'm assuming Jackie was younger at that time too. There's both issues where it should be on Jackie because she's the adult and she's the mother to learn how to express yourself better, to remove yourself from the situation, which is probably why in that video she sat there and told her, all right, go ahead and go instead of cussing her out and calling her bitches and shit once she told her I don't respect you and started, coming at her mama sideways with her mouth. So maybe she did do some work in therapy and got better. But back then, baby, these as a mother, now I didn't understand. My mom had problems with me at that age. I ain't gonna lie. And for some years, I felt like my mama really do not like me because she was always so upset about like just the small, like about things that I was doing that I'm like that really ain't that big of a deal. It's a lot of other kids who's way worse than me. But then when I grew up and I look back, like yeah, I needed my ass whooped a little bit. Yeah, that was a little, when you get older and you dealing with your kids at that age and they get and you going to work stressed out trying to do everything in your power to make them have a better life and they give you that attitude and you can't ask them for nothing. It gets a lot. And as a parent, and I self-diagnosed myself with ADHD, y'all. I ain't go to no doctor because I know what it is. I seen the symptoms. Yep, get it. I did take one of my middle baby for it, and the treatment was medicine. I'm like, I don't want. Nope, she's not doing that. We finna work it out. We're gonna figure out. We're gonna find techniques and things, and that's what I have done for myself. So, yeah, now older, you realize your triggers. You realize that you get overstimulated. You realize, like, I didn't realize that with my 22-year-old when I had her when I was 20. I realized that I just knew just crying was driving me crazy. Like my patience was there. Like you're not listening. Why you walking? Why you know what I'm saying? So I get overstimulated. I get stressed, and like it, it'll come out as far as me yelling a lot, or you know what I'm saying, like yelling a lot at your kid because you didn't say sit down, don't do that, don't touch that, and then it becomes sit your motherfucking ass down. How many times I got to say? Mm, yes, yes. You could do better. But sometimes it happens. And I had this conversation in a video before about apologizing to kids. Like some people feel like, oh, well, as a parent, I don't have to apologize to my child. I'm not. I have, if I do wrong, apologize to my kids. I don't care what age they are. My 4-year-old, I don't care if I'm wrong in a situation. I'm gonna apologize, because if you apologize to your kids, you're teaching them how to apologize when they're wrong, instead of being an adult who grows up and don't take any type of accountability for their behavior. That's how we get fuck boys. No. Let's continue. Uh, so she said that Jackie told her that she hated her when she was 12 in a heated argument. Said Chantel held on to that and feel all these years later that is how Jackie feels, because why would you treat me like this? Then Carlos bring up that the sister said she was the apple of Jackie's eye and she was spoiled and got everything she wanted and was a mini Jackie. Now the sister even says that in the book. So she said, well, me and my brother got the same father. I'm like, girl, what they got to do with if you was the favorite or not? Like, that's what I was saying during this interview. I'm like, when he asked her a direct question, she ain't answer direct question. But when she sat down with Jackie on the clip, I don't even watch the clip. When she sat down with Jackie on the clip, and Jackie like, well, I'm trying to get down to like what is the issue. She ain't answered that question either. And I'm like, I don't know. And then y'all, she a Gemini. And I'm not saying that as I don't got on my Gemini shirt. I am a Gemini, true and blue, okay? But there's a lot of the Geminis, especially the famous ones, the Kanye's, the Trumps and shit out there, I be like, what the fuck wrong with them? Is this why everybody say Gemini act like that? Because, and the weird part, I think maybe because I'm a Gemini, I could understand why they acting like that. And it took me time and counseling and sitting down with myself and figuring shit out. And I'm like, but especially the ages of the people that I just named, like, y'all haven't did none of that shit. Y'all just gonna keep and I seen a post that said, no, it's not because you're a Scorpio, Susan, it's because you're a fucking jackass. Like, so you ain't gonna try to fix none of that shit. You just gonna steady be like, I'm a Gemini. I know with me personally, I had a habit of what would look like blow ups, like small things will make you blow up. But most Geminis that I know, and I will talk about me, we take a lot of stuff. And a lot of stuff don't bother us because we always like being chipper and being fun and talking like my talking ass talking now. And so we'll see it and we'll be like, all right, I ain't gonna say nothing about it. And you'll just keep going and then you'll see it and you okay, you know what? That person got one more time. Then my Amazon is just talking all in my business. And so you'll see it and you'll just brush it up under the rug and you'll brush it up under the rug. And then the heel on the rug gets so doggone big that you end up the smallest little thing because that person that did 500 things that you ain't say nothing about. So now the small thing is like they'll come in your house and I say hello. You'll cuss their ass out because they didn't already disrespect you. And they'd be like, my husband be like, there go that Gemini coming out again. Nah, motherfucker. See, I should have checked their ass 5 years ago, but I didn't. So now this small thing is just the straw that broke the camel back. So from the outside, it looked like, oh, these fucking Geminis crazy as shit. They explode over nothing. And if you sit down and tell them the story, you're like, okay, that's understandable. But that's why I have worked on it and have tried to address things when it bothered me instead of letting it fester and then I look like a nut. But like I said, so Chantel ends up saying in here that she's a Gemini. But I was like, we usually fucking direct. And like we so direct that people like you a little too blunt. Like, you know, you didn't have to say it like that. If my thing always was it the truth? But the way she was answering these questions, I was like, what the fuck type of Gemini is this? What is going on here? Like, answer the question. So anyway, he said, your sister said she's the apple of your eye. So you was the apple of Jackie's eye. So what are you talking about that, you know, where did this come about? So she was like, well, my sister got a different daddy. What the fuck? Me and my brother got the same daddy. Okay. So Anyway, she talks about her sister have a different dad. Then she said her oldest daughter has a different dad and don't want her to be like, oh, mommy, Noah and Daquan, yeah, Daquan sitting there and she don't want her to, and she don't want her daughter to be like, oh, you and Noah is sitting there, you Noah and Daquan is sitting there, and she don't want to ever make her daughter feel separate. Still, the question was, why did your sister say you was the apple of the eye? And now y'all have issues. But this is how she answered. She said, so since she has an oldest daughter who has a different father, she don't want that oldest daughter to feel separate and look at her and her son with the father and be like, oh, y'all are over there and I feel separate. And I'm like, wait, I thought her husband was a secret. I thought they called him Mr. Jeffries to keep his identity quiet. But she just said Daquan, and sure enough, Google Daquan Jeffries, and he's an NBA player, and it states that Chantel Christie is his wife. And I'm like, how the fuck is that a secret? I can't. Now I'm like, is she trying to make herself seem more important than she is? And Jackie don't allow it. Is that the problem? I don't know. I don't know. But I don't watch it. That was just something that that came up, that she calls her husband Mr. Jeffrey because she would like to keep their relationship, private. Anyway, she says her sister probably seen her mom and her dad together and felt like an outsider. And Chantel tried to bring her into the fold because the sister seen her having great experience with her father and wanted her sister to have the same thing. So now I'm confused again because the question was about Jackie treating you like the apple of the eye, not Doug. So the sister seeing you and your father, who is Doug, had nothing to do with the question. Y'all help me out. Drop in comments and y'all let me know. Help me out because I got confused. She said she don't know her sister thought process, but they both left with the grandma and Jackie didn't take care of her. And Jackie didn't take her with her. So she said, I don't know my sister thought process. I guess she got to the answer. That's her trying to answer the question on why the sister feel like you is the golden child to Jackie. She said, I don't know her thought process. And because Jackie didn't take me with her either, she left us both with her grandma. But like I said, in that book the sister worked 10 years ago, I know up until the age 2. Like I won't not read. I only the lady who read it. I only listened to like 2, 3 chapters. And at that time she was talking about how how Chantel lived with Jackie. Because and we that DNA stuff coming up too, y'all. That was in the book too. That Chris Rebel DNA stuff, that was all phony. But that's in the book too, yeah. Even though that just happened. But she talks about how it was a question of who Chantel dad was. So y'all stay tuned for that. So she said kids can live in the same household and experience 2 different type of mom. And I talked about that earlier. I completely agree. I think all 7 of us have experienced a different mom with my mom. And she had us at different ages. So yeah, she have 7 different girls, and boy, they ain't no twins. She had that many kids. And I believe each one of us seen a different side of her and was raised differently. Not differently, as far as she tried to raise us all universally, because back in that day, baby, they was like kids stay in kids' place. You speak when you're spoken to, like so. Everybody was raised as far as that. Like we couldn't go outside. The street lights come on. You come back in the house. We had to sit on the porch. At a certain age, we couldn't go off the block. My mom was very, very strict. She was like that universally. So she didn't raise us differently, but my older sisters had to experience her younger when she did more things with them as far as like outings and zoos and beach and things of that nature, where as far as when I came along, she was going to school. So she went to school, she was working 2 jobs, so she spent less time in the house, and I got to experience I didn't get them outings and all that, but I understood that. So it was just like she's correct when she says two people raised with the same mom but experience two different types of mom. So she recently started to see her dad as a person and not a parent and began having convo with him. And he is quick to take accountability and apologize. And Jackie is the complete opposite and is deflecting with no accountability. Carlos says most psychiatrists says, oh, I think my TikTok is going out. Give me a minute, TikTok. Uh, ah, okay. So Carlos said most psychiatrists said for most girls, their first bully is their mom. My first bullies was my sisters. It's someone watching, and it's the truth. I see it. What I see. So I don't know. I didn't experience that. I don't know about that. Is she the first person with my ass? No, I don't even think she first person with my ass. I think that was my sisters too. So maybe if that, but me, baby, we got it in quietly in that house, okay? Um, let's continue. So she said when her grandma passed away at 18, Chantel moved out the house and got a job at Walmart. Carlos feels like her grandmother was her protector, and when she passed away, she ran away because she didn't want to do the hard work and build a relationship with her mom. So Carlos feels like that that the grandma was pretty much like a peacekeeper. This is not his words. This is the way I'm interpreting it. The grandma was pretty much like a peacekeeper. So when she passed away, the arguments that probably the grandma was settled between Chantel and Jackie, they no longer had that person there to build the bridge. Or the way Chantel feels, since her mom was her first bully, now Jackie is just bullying her because the grandma is no longer there. Now, in my situation, my mom was like the glue that held the family together. So I think we was all just too afraid. We was scared shit, my mom. She was the ones who loved you to death, but as a kid, I had no doubt. Like she'll kill me, but she'll be sorry. You know what I'm saying? She wouldn't mean to do it. It'll be an accident. But I had no doubt that that lady, she played no games. Okay, but she was the glue. She was the peacekeeper because we was too afraid to make her upset. We ain't be arguing shit like that out for the sisters. So when she passed, there was years of us not getting along because we no longer had that person that we had to talk to each other for, that we had to be around, that we had to like not call each other bald head hoe. No, we still do that. That's sister love. But we once she passed, it was a hard time. Siblings for a long time, for some years, it was hard times because when you do have, and I forget what was the saying. They said siblings siblings who band together, their parents wasn't there for them, but siblings who fight over the attention of parents. But oh, there it goes, it's back. So we had the things that our mom, we always like was fighting for the who she likes the best, who she, you know what I'm saying? We fight for the attention of our mom. So when she was gone, the way that the order fell, we always had like the person, somebody like I was born with a best friend. The sister above me was my best friend. When back in the day when your parents had a lot of kids, the oldest always had to look up under the one up under them. That one had to look up after the one up under there, and so goes. You know what I'm saying? But by the time my mama had me, I'm number 5. She had got her life together. She could afford private school and everything. Them two youngest, baby, they had life. So I didn't have to look after them. So it pretty much stopped with me. So the one right above me, we had a very close relationship because she had no other choice. She was stuck with me. I told y'all before, the Johnson sisters, we was a gang, blood in, blood out, okay? But anyway, she said that that once her grandma died, then she had nobody to protect her from the bully. So let me continue. Look, I lost my spot. She said to take accountability. She would walk out the door and could do it. Okay, she said she take accountability and she should walk out the door. So now she's finally taking accountability for the clip that I show. So she said she take accountability and she should have walked out the door, and she couldn't do it because for the first time she was not backing down from her bully, who was Jackie. That's why she said when she got to the door. Now she already sat there. Now she said that was for the first time. She already said that, told your mama you don't respect her, nothing like that. But this is for the first time you okay. But she said that's why she walked back, and that's how she got popped in the mouth because she for the first time she wasn't backing down to that bully. They wasn't in a bad space, but they wasn't locked in either. When she got the call to join the basketball wife, they persuaded her and Jackie. They persuaded her. Jackie and the network insisted on her being on the show. She said her mom met her son for the first time at 7 months. So when the show started, her son didn't know Jackie. That she told Jackie when Jackie came in, hold on, give him some space. He needs to get to know you, because she wasn't going to fake it for the cameras like they wanted and be like, oh, here's grandma, and when Jackie didn't know him. Now when she now just that part, I had to agree with her, right? Until she continued talking. Because I'm like, yeah, if this person, I don't care you the grandma or not. If you ain't been involved with my kid's life, you don't know my kid. I'm not gonna just be, hey, here's your grandma's here, hold my baby, and stuff like that, When this baby don't know you from boo boo the fool. This baby don't know you from nowhere. So I'm not gonna just be giving you my baby for the cameras and make it look like you a good grandma and you ain't. That's where I thought she was going, y'all. Then she continued talking. And she said she wasn't going to have her son all crying on camera, right? So Carlos asked, so this is where it trips up. So Carlos asked, how old was your son when the filming took place? She said he was 9 or 10 months. Man, she said Jackie just met him at 7. She said, so he was 9 or 10 months. Then Carlos asked, so this was her second time seeing your son? Because that's what you would think the way she talking. She only met him at 7 months. So I wasn't just going to put him in it. So you would think, oh, that's just the second time she met the son. No. She said, no, she had been around a couple of times since the first time. So that was maybe the third. I'm like, wait, so that means she have seen the baby once a month. So how are you saying she wanted to be fake? So if he met him at 7 months, he been around 3 times. He's only 9 months. That means the lady came and seen the baby almost once a month, lady. Like, what are you? She make us Geminis look bad. Girl, if you don't get Jackie that goddamn baby and sat down some damn well. But then she said she'd been in that apartment before filming, and her mom had seen her son on multiple occasions. But my mom is not picking up my son and taking him to the park. So now she's just making excuses. She's just trying to say any goddamn thing now. Girl, most people ain't taking no 10-month-old to no damn park. What they gonna do at a park? Crawling. 10 months they crawling. Some babies are walking, because my baby walked at 9 months. But some babies are walking, but they ain't good enough at it. Like they finna go down the damn slide. Like what? Because Jackie, I'm like, now it seems like you trying to get sympathy. because Jackie she wasn't picking her up. But Jackie wasn't coming over there to get my son and take him to a park. There ain't nobody taking no damn 10-month-old to no damn park. Me. Maybe y'all is out there. Go ahead. Y'all probably is. She was looking for a reason to blame her mom for something. Then she said it went left when Jackie brought up her first child father, and it was promised not to be brought up on the show. But it didn't make the show. But then she say on Carlos' show, his name's Stacy, and we're in a custody battle. She said it wasn't meant to be brought up on the show. But then she said to Carlos, but his name is Stacy, and we're in a custody battle. I said, wait a minute, is this a secret or not? But I thought you didn't want this shit to be public because you said she brought up a section of my personal life that was off limit for the show. And she knows that because we discussed pre-recording. So if this is off limit, she said Jackie knew it because they had talked about it pre-recording. That part of her life is off limit, but Jackie brought it up. And so now I'm confused. It's like, why are you bringing it up? But I guess because it's her life, she can bring up what she wants. And maybe she feel like Jackie had already spilled the beans or whatever. But actually, nope. I'm going to continue reading because that didn't even make it in the show. It didn't make it in the show. That part that Jackie brought up, it didn't make it in the show. Then she said she don't know how it would be used or if it would be used or not. And Jackie know better. I said, then right here, to me, this is where the truth came out. This is where the truth came out. Because she said, out of everyone on the show, technically, she is the only basketball wife. Because her dad is a coach now. I said, wait a minute. Now she's the only basketball wife. I'm like, that sounds like you are in competition with your mom. Like you've been watching the show, hating on your mom's success or popularity. I don't know. Like you saying in your man, like, I don't even know why she on here. I don't even know how she made it all these years. Because my daddy ain't even playing in the NBA no more. This is called Basketball Wives. He's a coach. It ain't called Coach Wives. It's called Basketball Wife. So I'm like, what type of point is that to point out? Because your dad is a basketball coach. Is he a football coach? Is he a baseball coach? Yeah, drop in the comments because I don't watch the show. I'm assuming Doug Christie, who's a former basketball player, is now a basketball coach, and it's called Basketball Wives. Okay. Then she said, because of that, Jackie could have asked questions about what is it like with you living here with your husband there. She felt like Jackie should have asked her, Jackie could have asked her questions like that. I'm like, girl, your mama was in the position first. Why would she ask you about being a basketball wife when she already know the answer? She been a basketball wife for over 20 some years. What she look like asking you, girl? So, how is this? Like she new to the game. She ain't new to the game. Jackie true to the game. Like I only watch Basketball Wife, but I know she been up since forever. She was mad, but didn't show it and gave a straight answer, a straight basic answer. Then after filming, but she's go back. She said that she was mad when Jackie asked her about her first baby daddy, but she didn't show it. She just gave a basic answer. Then after filming, she called her brother and dad and said Jackie was on bullshit and explained what she just did, and they both were shocked and was like, what? She would never do that. They both were shocked and said she would never do that. So I'm looking like, why is you calling your brother and your daddy to tell? I do be calling my sisters though. If my mom was alive, I would be calling them. Be like, your mama just made me mad. Because when I am mad at one of the other sisters, I probably would be like, you know what your sister just did? But I think we all do that. They can lie like they don't. But I know y'all do. Now, and even with this, I call my dad, I call my brother. I said, seems like you try to pit your mama and your daddy against each other. Seems like that's a habit of yours. Because even now at your big old age with kids, the moment your mama popped your ass in the mouth, you said, I'm finna call dad. And your mama beat you to the punch. Like, Dougie, baby. let's continue. So a couple minutes later, she said later in the season she decided to put her info out herself. I said, get the fuck out of here. So you did all this explanation for nothing. So you setting up there saying that Jackie told your business and you was mad, but then later in the season you decided to tell your business. And I'm like, it seems like maybe I'm not a reality TV person. I keep saying that. I know y'all do. I said I'm not a reality TV person, but I always hear about people talking about storylines. And the way she said that, how you was upset and you needed a reason to be upset, but then later in the season you decided to tell. Seems like maybe you didn't have a storyline, and later in the season you seen that and decided to tell your business because you needed a storyline. Now I don't know. I don't watch the show, but how that it's very odd, very odd. So she said Jackie tried to get Brandy to bring some tea about her, about Chantel. J- uh, Jackie about Chantel once off camera and once on camera. And the tea was that Chantel is a lesbian. Then Jackie said, then she said it also made her upset that Jackie said to Jennifer that she had parents' rights and in her bringing up her first father. So she felt like at every turn her mom was trading on her and she was coming to be herself. And Jackie was one person on camera and another person off camera. So if y'all didn't understand, because I'm reading. So she said her mom was trading on her. And Chantel felt like she was coming on the show to be herself, where her mom was one person on camera and another person off the camera. She said Jackie told the women and the producers that Chantel is very impressionable and they need to keep an eye out. I mean, she do talk like a teenager. So Carlos said the audience took Jackie always walking off when the conversation was about Chantel as Jackie way of not having a blow up scene with her daughter because she knows that's what people want. And Chantel said, then why continue filming? I'm like, girl, because it's her fucking show. She was there first. I with that and my daddy don't see my mama for who she is, and I'm the only true basketball wife. I said it sounds very like competitive. Like she's competing with her mom, but I don't watch the show. People say Jackie is toxic. I don't know, but that was messy. So that's about that now. I want to go on to this book because, like I just said, I thought she was competing with her mama, right? Now, this is when to get the gossip, right? Let's get to the gossip part. In this book, I said, yeah, her ass is very competitive with females. Now, I don't care that she's a young, beautiful lady. Some of them just have, and maybe it does tie from Jackie leaving her and that need to feel accepted or wanted or to be put first or whatever. But baby, she was fucking her cousins, man. Like when I tell you, Chantel is allegedly, if what her sister said in her book is true, let's go over this little part. I didn't read the whole book. I didn't read shit. I sent this to somebody on YouTube and I watched their video. But let's go. And I want to give the lady the. I want to give the lady the credit because she got two parts. She got two videos on there. Y'all could go watch. Y'all could go watch the videos, but I'm trying to get the lady name to tell it to y'all so y'all could go watch it. The name of the YouTube channel. Because on one video she goes through and she actually reads the book, but and I think that video is about 30 minutes. She reads about 30 minutes of the book, but then the other video she summarized a couple of the channels. Coco NT, COCOANDTEA. So that's the YouTube channel, and she has the first daughter, Takari. She has her book and she reads some of it and then she summarized some of it as well. So that's where I'm getting this information from. That she said it's in the first daughter book. Now, she said Takari went on Mims. I said that earlier. That Mims is making make sense. He's a YouTuber. He actually did. I want to say got his start from doing reality TV, doing reviews of reality TV. So he's very big into Basketball Wives and reality TV shows. Now he's doing the P Diddy. He reads the court files and everything. When cases hit, he reads the court files and he do trending news and stuff like that. But he's a fairly big YouTuber. But the oldest daughter went on after this stuff happened, after Chantel and Jackie got into it, well, after the show aired, that happened. And then Chantel and Takari end up exchanging words on one of the social media where Chantel was like, "Oh, you talking about how the girl on Section 8." Like, so she went and Takari has a TikTok and she goes live or posts videos on TikTok. Now Takari has a speech impediment, and I want to say because of her hearing, she doesn't. I don't know if it's one ear or both ears, but she has a hearing issue and a speech impediment, and that's why she had That's why she felt insecure talking in things as a kid, and this social media is making her be more comfortable and coming to herself and she went to counseling. She said she went to counseling. Her and Jackie have went to counseling because apparently 10 years ago when her and Jackie fell out, that she went on social media and was blasting social media. And she did say at that time that Jackie wasn't a good mother, that Jackie treated her bad because she was the black sheep of the family, that she was dark skinned, that she was heavy set. Chantel was light and had a better body, and Jackie would like make the girl work out, and Doug would be her personal trainer, stuff like that. But let's continue. So she went on Mims and she talked to Mims, and that's when she's telling people, well, everything y'all want to know, I already wrote a book. I did that 10 years ago. I'm not going to discuss that side of it. But this lady went and got the book. And so in her book, she said they both moved. Just the messiness, right? Now I'm finna talk to y'all about Chantel was fucking two of her cousins, man. Two different cousins, man. Yeah. So they both older at this point, and they both had moved to the same city. Takari had her own apartment, and Chantel chose to stay with her cousin Mari, who has a husband and kids. And it hurt her feelings because she thought that this was a time for her and her sister to get close and could bond. So she thought her sister, they in the same city, her sister would move with her. Why would you move with somebody who got with a cousin with the husband and kid? But she didn't. She moved to her cousin. So the cousin marriage was already rocky, but it got worse with Chantel staying there. And the husband said Chantel was a bad influence on his wife. Now, man, you doing the Mims interview, she said that Takari said that the family don't fuck with Chantel. And they like, why? And she was like, well, it's in my book. But things happen and the family don't fuck with her. So this is what happened. Why the family don't fuck with her. You fucking two of the cousins, man. So yeah. Though the cousin marriage was rocky, but it got worse with Chantel staying with them. And the husband said Chantel was a bad influence on his wife. He said his wife started going out and started dressing all like a skank hoe. That ain't what that man said, but she started dressing a way he didn't like. So also Takari and Jackie had stopped talking, and Jackie had kicked her out the rental house and told her sister and grandma that they couldn't talk to her. So Jackie had told Chantel and the grandma, Jackie mom, that they couldn't talk to Takari. The grandma still would talk to her, but Chantel was only able to send emails since Jackie paid her phone bills and would know. Then the oldest went online, Takari went online, blasting Jackie, and Chantel came back and told her that their mom was looking to put out a cease and assist out on her. Now Chantel will record her and Jackie talking about the oldest sister and send it to the oldest sister through email. I told you in that episode when she just said when Chantel sat down with Jackie and Jackie on her phone, she's like, "Oh, I don't care that you record me." That's because she did that to Jackie and sent it to the older sister. That's why, in my mind, allegedly, that's what I believe. So Takari said that Chantel didn't treat her well, but she believed it was because Jackie didn't treat her well, and Chantel was just following Jackie. So Chantel started talking to her cousin, ex-boyfriend. The ex and the cousin had been broken up for 5 years. The ex moved to Tennessee, got married, and was expecting a baby now with his wife. So that cousin didn't care. But at the same time, Chantel was also messing with another cousin, current boyfriend named Daz. So the cousin boyfriend that she's messing with, the cousin is named Lexi. Now, what I found out, because I'm like, why is she fucking like, that's crazy messing with about your family boyfriend, but your cousin boyfriend. But what made it even worse, right? I told you I didn't read the book, but the lady talked about uh Takari talks about like growing up and how they grew up and how she was raised with the grandma while Chantel was with Jackie. So yes, that's their cousin, but it seems like they was raised like sisters because Lexi lived in the house with the grandma. Like it seems like the grandma had one of them houses that everybody would just come and stay with when they had hard times or whatever. So Lexi lived in a house with them growing up. So I ain't gonna say Chantel ain't shit, but Chantel ain't shit. So Chantel had the cousin Lexi boyfriend visiting her at the house she stayed in, which is the other cousin house. The cousin who husband don't like her because he said, "You got my wife out in these streets." That's the summary. But so they tried to hide the fact that she's messing with another cousin, current boyfriend from the husband. So the boy would come over when the husband wasn't there to see Chantel because Chantel lived there. So one day, and then so he would come over when the husband was at work. So one day the husband ended up coming home and the guy was there. And so that's how he found out that Chantel was over there for her cousin boyfriend. Now he tell his wife, if you don't tell her, I'ma tell her, and gave her a certain amount of time. The wife didn't tell her. So the husband's like, "Oh, you think this is a game?" Y'all, that's how it happened in my mind. That ain't what they said. What she said in the book was, and so since she didn't tell her, the husband called Lexi, the cousin who Chantel sleeping with the boyfriend, called Lexi and was like, "Oh, did you know that Dex is messing with Lexi? Is messing with your cousin? Do you know that Dex is messing with your cousin Chantel?" And she said Lexi was real hurt. She was very upset, and y'all. So Lexi hurt and upset. So she lashes out. And what she say was, when he say, "Do you know that Dex is sleeping with Chantel?" She said, "Do you know your wife was getting fingered by this old guy that works at Walmart?" I said, "No, she didn't. No, she didn't, Lord." Fix it. So, so that's why family stopped messing with Chantel, and they started dogging her out on social media. And Takari, stood up for her sister, defended her sister, because it's her sister. Regardless of how her sister treated her, she still feel like that's her sister. Several months later, Chantel moved out the place with her cousin that was living with the husband, and moved into the place that Takari was living at. She didn't move into the apartment with her. She moved into the same apartment building that Takari was living in. So did she say, and what's the messed up part about that is that Chantel knows that the cousin Lex, who boyfriend she was fucking, lives in that same apartment building. And so she ended up moving into the same apartment building with the cousin who boyfriend she was fucking. So she said one day the cousin and Lex, the cousin, and Dez, I want to say his name is Dez, the boyfriend, out there arguing and something happened at the apartment. So Chantel goes over to Takari because the family ain't fucking with Chantel. She goes over to Takari and gives Takari her number and say, slide this to the boyfriend for me. And Takari like, I didn't want to do it, but it was my sister. So she's like, so I just did it and walked away. So then uh her guy was Takari guy. And I think at this time she said she had two boys. They living in that apartment building. He's selling green. So he's selling green, but he go call Takari like Doug out here. And she's like, what the? Because at this time, I want to say her parents living in Los Angeles. Well, Doug and Jackie, because y'all know Doug is not Takari's father, but Doug is out there. And so she called Chantel like, what Doug doing here? Girl, they is there to move Chantel. She moving and then tell her sister who live in the same apartment building shit. So Chantel like, oh, I'm gonna just move back in with with mom and dad. She's like, but I'm gonna come tell you bye before I go. And she said she ain't hear from Chantel. Chantel was gone. Baby had moved, didn't tell her bye, didn't tell her kids bye, didn't come tell her nephews bye, nothing. Chantel just left. So then in the book, okay, let's talk about this DNA test. Y'all know that there was a viral thing going on where they were saying that Doug Christie is not Chantel's daddy, that the daddy is Chris Webber, who's one of Doug's ex-teammates. Chris Webber denied it. I didn't believe it. I believed it was like some made up stuff. But Chris Webber denies it. Jackie and everything denies it as well. Now, in Takari's book, she talks about that when she was born, that she, her mom and her dad was together, that Doug started talking to Jackie when Jackie technically was still with Takari's dad. And she was like, hey, I'm with somebody or whatever. But I guess they stopped messing. She left Takari dead and was messing around with Doug. She said Takari seen Doug. She's like, she seen him like one time, but then didn't see him again for a while. Then her mama pops up pregnant. So this is where the DNA come up at. So her mom pops up pregnant, and she says at this time they did not know who the father was. So well, it was a question of the father. So I don't know if people was questioning, if Doug was questioning, if the mama didn't know, or I don't know. But she said there was a question of who the father was. So she said she have always stayed with the grandma. So at the once Jackie started messing with Doug, Jackie moved, she moved on up to the east side. She had a deluxe apartment in the sky. And, and Takari still stayed with the grandma. And Doug was living out in California, if I'm not mistaken. So they was not living together. But it seems like he may have been taking care of her, but they was not living together. She said Jackie Christie, the mom and the auntie, y'all, was boosters. Well, they technically weren't boosters. What they would do is they would go into high name places, Neiman Marcus, Macy's. They would go into these places. They would steal they would steal a bunch of shit. Then they'll go to another location and return all the shit and get the money. So she said she remember her mama getting arrested a couple of times, but she don't never remember no prostitution. She didn't say Jackie got arrested for prostitution. That's what Evelyn said. And Jackie said Evelyn lied. But she said, so when Chantel was born, Jackie and Doug still wasn't together. Jackie was living in her own apartment. He was living in California. She said Doug mama despised Jackie, that she did not like Jackie. So much so that Doug ended up losing the relationship with his mom for Jackie, because that's how much the lady didn't like Jackie. And I guess it had to be a choice, and he chose Jackie. Now, y'all, I know there's people sending stuff over here, and thank y'all. Like the video. I've been over here talking and running my mouth, and I've been forgetting to say like the video. Thanks for the gifts that was sent on TikTok. Yeah, I'm almost done. We almost up out of here. Okay, now, so he lost his relationship with his mom for Jackie. And so she said they eventually took a DNA test, and she said paternity proved, I don't think she used the words DNA test. She said paternity proved that Doug was the father. So all that Chris Webber stuff and everything, according to the oldest daughter, I don't think it's true because it sounds like Doug took a DNA test. And he said once the paternity proved that Doug was the father, Doug moved Jackie out that apartment that she was in, and they moved into this big old house. So I told you the mom, the auntie, and Jackie was going in them stores stealing and stuff. But it seems like the grandma had a house, and she said everybody would like live in this house. The auntie came up somehow, ended up getting this big old house on the lake, and but she don't know what happened. She actually ended up mentioning the Italian mafia and how they was doing work for them. Don't know how that tie in. I don't know. Didn't read the book, but and something big happened where they had to grab everything and had to leave that big old house. She did give Jackie credit because I want to say Jackie had moved everybody to Los Angeles at one point. And they was, in that apartment building that she used to stay in before Doug moved her into the house. That she let she moved everybody out and moved them into that apartment building. And it sounds like it was like in a high rise. And an earthquake happened, and Jackie was so scared that she ended up buying a house and moving them out that two flat out that sky rise because she was afraid of another earthquake. She was afraid of them getting hurt. So she said Jackie ended up that the grandma, it eventually did get where it was just her and the grandma because Jackie had a storefront, and she didn't discuss what the front was or what they were selling or whatever. But at one time when it was all of them living, the rats and stuff and roaches was so bad that Jackie came and got her and the grandma, and they was living in a storefront until she put them into a house. Yeah. So she said when Jackie and Doug when Doug bought the house, Chantel was born at this time, and she went and visited them, and she was just so amazed on like she couldn't believe how big and beautiful this house was. And Chantel had an all pink room. She had bunk beds, and she was thinking, oh well, maybe the bunk beds is for me. No, the bunk beds was for all Chantel, the stuffed animals. She had so many stuffed animals and stuff. They had their own bed. But she did say she never wanted to live with Jackie. She always wanted to be with the grandma. She didn't care because all the cousins was there. The Lexi, the who boyfriend that she was fucking, that Chantel ended up messing with, all the cousins, because one of the aunties. So I don't know if Lexi damn mom is Jackie auntie. That's who I'm assuming, because she said that Jackie's sister, and then she named the cousin Lexi and her grandma, and it just seems like the grandma house was just a big family house. And she said one of the aunties, I know one of them was on drugs, and the drug habit got bad and stuff like that. So it seems like the book. She said she did want to say she wrote the book because she was getting outside influence, and I don't know. Sounds like it may have been somebody on Basketball Wives like pushing her to write this book when she got into it with Jackie. So she said the book was rushed and it's not like a big old novel, and she just wanted to get it all out, her thoughts out, and put it out there. So it's not the best work, but y'all, look, that's it. The book is out there. Y'all can read the book. I don't know if I'm gonna get it though. I throw her. I've been talking entirely too long, y'all. Don't forget to like the video as y'all come in. I'm finna get up out of here. I don't know what we gonna talk about next, y'all. But what y'all feel? Y'all have any thoughts on what happened, and if y'all feel like Jackie is wrong, y'all feel like Chantel is wrong, or even the relationship that she had with her oldest daughter. I feel like both of them was holding resentment towards Jackie for not being there and choosing to go to every one of Doug games instead of staying there and having the grandma. raised them. So I feel like sometimes you angry, you don't even know your ass is angry. You just like, oh no, it's cool. And it takes you work to really even figure out that you're angry. Because you're like, what? Why is you upset? What is it? I ain't upset. Oh, that man did some bitch. Tell everybody I ain't upset. So I think the oldest, and if I'm not mistaken, she said her Jackie went to therapy and they went to counseling and they didn't work through their issues and they are okay right now. But I want to say the oldest and did the work. I think Chantel is still mad. Like she may not know she's mad, she may not believe she's mad, she may feel like she's over it, but her always like she said in the interview, like I'm a wife, I'm a basketball, I'm the only basketball wife there is, and I have my kids. So I'm like, I think you're still upset with your mom that your mom chose your dad over y'all, and you're upset that, and you still, it seems like you blame your mom for your dad choosing your mom. And not you like my dad don't see who she is, and my dad don't see Jackie for the person that she is, and he always forget her for everything that she do. And it seems like you kind of upset with your dad, but it don't seem like you'll ever tell your dad that you're upset with him because you're probably a daddy's girl. I was a daddy's girl, I get it. So yeah, I'm like, because when she sat down, you came in that room, man. So the Carlos King interview, there was a lot of just talking of Jackie, and Jackie did this and Jackie did that. And I'm a big believer of taking yourself out the situation so a person can figure out what's truly wrong. So if somebody is always like, oh, if I'm around somebody and they always will eventually find something wrong and angry and have something to say, there's something that I did when I know I ain't do shit. When I do shit, I take accountability most times. Anyway, so I'm a big believer in those situations, like in this situation with Jackie, to not dissolve your relationship with your daughter, because that's your daughter. You're gonna forever love your kids, but to remove yourself from the situation so she can get the help and so she can see her life clearly and maybe she can figure it out. Because I'm a big believer in, like, I remove myself, baby. The moment I see the smoke's coming, I'm gonna remove myself to the smoke clear so you can see what's actually in front of your face. Because half the time it ain't what the person that you're going off with. That's just the outlet that you have to take it out on. A lot of times that ain't even the issue. It's deeper issues. It's childhood shit. It's you mad at your husband and shit, don't want to talk to him, probably mad at your daddy, don't want to say no or whatever. But that's, maybe some deeper. You may even still be grieving your grandma, because grief lasts for my parents been passed for a long time, and sometimes grief will hit you like a fucking ton of rocks, and you're like, where the fuck is this coming from? Sometimes you angry about because you didn't never deal with that grief. You just, my mom passed, I was so young that you just tried to, I'm just continuing on with life, and then chewing everybody head off and not knowing why, and said, and then you'll make excuses because they did, and this person said, and then you look around, you're like, wait, let me give me a minute, let me figure this out. Because some people, a lot of people in the world are fucked up, but take a step back and take accountability for your behavior as well. And the name of Carlos' interview is accountability. I said, what the fuck what let me look through my notes again. Let me see where she took. The accountability she took was that she should have walked out the door instead of coming back and getting popped in the mouth. That's the accountability she took. Not that she came there with an attitude. Now she told my mama, her mama, she don't respect her. But I guess if she don't respect her, I guess that's fine. Y'all, I wasn't raised that way, and I'm gonna pop the shit out my kid. I'm gonna turn her every way but loose, push me. But I don't condone violence on this channel. Y'all, let me get up out of here because I could talk forever. And what time is it? And I got to get dinner started. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Don't forget, follow me on all social media, Tootie Talk Sense. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye.
Look like blades, yeah. Talk to. Yeah. Scroll in the
tube, found a star in the chaos. Tootie spitting facts like a modern day seance. Trending waves, politics in the spotlight. Raw with the wit, hits you sharp like a frostbite. Come on y'all, let's discuss her anthem, her creed. Breaking down the drama, uncovering the greed. Laugh through the truth, it's enlightenment with flair. Tootie talks sense, ain't no nonsense over there. Come on, we tuned into Tootie's vibe. High energy keeps the convo alive. From scandals to news, she hit it all bright. Tootie taking the mic like she owns the fight. Attention, detention, the trends are her prey. Mix politics with comedy in a slick ballet. Tootie busts through lies like a battering ram. Sharp commentary, she ain't giving a damn. Come on, we tuned into Tootie's vibe. High energy